Hi, Hyatt Ziva and Zilara fans. Welcome, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the top reasons to book the all-inclusive resorts of Hyatt Ziva and Zilara Resorts. Of course, as you know, there are resorts in Mexico, the Dominican Republic, and Jamaica. And we're going to go through the top reasons to book each one. Thanks to Joe, actually, who commented on my community post the other day and wanted to know which of the resorts I liked the best. And well, y'all know, you've seen my videos, I'm a pretty massive fan of Hyatt Zilara and Ziva Cap Cana. But I thought rather than just list out the ones that are my favorite, I thought I'd explain why they're my favorite. So just to give you a little history for those who don't know, I've been to over 200 resorts now in Mexico and the Caribbean, stayed at them, toured them, that kind of thing. So, you know, and I've stayed at some really amazing over five-star resorts, and I've stayed at some dumps. And overall, you know, I've come to find that the Hyatt is my favorite. And as we go, you know, we're live today. So if you have any questions, feel free to jot them down below, comment, and happy to answer your questions about these different resorts. But, you know, I've got the banner up here. I guess I should take it down. We are talking about Hyatt Ziva and Zilara Resorts, but I am not, can I take this down? There we go. Can't take it down. Okay, well, we'll leave it there. So as you can see over here, I've got Hyatt Ziva and Zilara Resorts. I am not an employee of theirs, never have been, probably never will be. I just love their resorts. And, you know, just the same as if you've stayed at a resort and you write a great TripAdvisor review, you know, basically just want to share with you all the information. You know, there's nothing I hate worse than going to a resort and then coming home and somebody saying, "Oh, you went to the Hyatt Zilara Cap Cana. Did you try the lomo salteado, the beef, the sauteed beef dish?" And you're like, "What are you talking about?" "Oh, it's at Shutters. It's beef and vegetables, and it's absolutely amazing. It's so mouthwateringly good." And you're like, "No, I didn't even know about it." So that's kind of one of my goals, is to share with you as much information as I can so that you just have the most ultimate experience that you possibly can. Now, I do have a comment here. Global Adventurer said that they had booked for Ziva this May and canceled both reservations. You know, and until everybody reaches a certain level of vaccination, and of course kids can't get vaccinated, I think there's going to be a lot of demand for adult-only resorts. But, you know, to each their own. Everybody's got their own opinion on the whole vaccine situation. And, you know, the resorts are so clean. And I've done a couple of videos on this as well, obviously, about the safety protocols that are in place. And honestly, I look at it and I think, you know, the resorts are so clean, you could literally eat food off the floor there, because they're cleaning everything all the time. So to me, it does feel very safe and very confident. But anyways, let's get started. So talking about Hyatt Zilara Cap Cana, obviously my favorite. The Hyatt Ziva is the family-friendly side of things. Hyatt Zilara is their adult-only brand. And as you know, with Hyatt Ziva Zilara Cap Cana, it's a co-located resort. So on one hand, we've got the adult-only side, and on the other side is the family-friendly. Kids are restricted to be on the family side only, but adults can go to either side. And there's just so much going for this resort that it really is my absolute favorite, and I'm really excited to be going back there sometime soon. Service is the number one thing for me there, and service is something that you kind of expect it to always be good no matter where you go, but it doesn't always work that way. And, you know, I feel like they treat you like extended family when you go to the Hyatt Zilara Ziva Cap Cana. So that really makes a difference. The food is absolutely above and beyond. And some of the unique things, I mentioned the lomo salteado, which is a Dominican dish. They also have mofongo, which is a dish made with plantain. And they also have a plataneo burger. And you'll find I think the mofongo and the plataneo burger you'll find at Waves. And it is absolutely fantastic. The plataneo burger is just a nice beef burger. It does have plantain on it and some other delicious items. Really, really good. But they also have some different themes on their restaurants. So the Shutters restaurant has a Peruvian theme to it for lunch, and you'll find things like ceviche or sashimi type fish, which is basically raw fish, absolutely delicious. And they also have an Indian restaurant, and I'm just going to say what they've done is they brought a train car from India, and they've put it on the property, and you can actually sit in the rail car and eat your dinner. Butter chicken with crispy garlic naan bread. I promise you won't go wrong. It is so delicious. The beach at the Hyatt is absolutely spectacular. It's not massive, it's about a mile or maybe just over a kilometer from end to end. It's very picturesque, though. You've got the palm trees that are like leaning right into the water. It's just so photogenic. And it is a protected beach as well. So there's some netting out there. So if there is any issues with seaweed, for the most part, it keeps it all off of the beach and away from the beach. Everyone has a kid at heart or is a kid at heart will appreciate the water slides. They've got the full section for adults and for kids, including one that you slide down the slide in an inner tube. And they've also got the lazy river, so that's a lot of fun. For those who are concerned, it's basically a double gated community. So in order to enter the area of Cap Cana, you must be either a resident of the area, you must either be, or an employee of one of the properties or the resorts, or you must be a guest of the area. So that's the only way that you're able to get in, and there's certain restrictions. One of the one of the waiters was saying, if he leaves, once he finishes his shift, he's got a certain amount of time to get through the gate. Otherwise, they're calling the resort and saying, hey, where's Eduardo? Like, why hasn't he come through the checkpoint yet? So it's very secure. And then, of course, you have the resort security as well. And, with an all-inclusive resort, you can't go on property unless you are a registered guest. They do have the biggest gym out of any resort that I've ever seen in my life. It's absolutely massive. And they've got a lot of fun stuff. Like whoever wakes up and goes, yay, I want to work out. I mean, yeah, I know there's some people out there. That's not me, not even close. So when I go to a gym and I see stuff and I think, oh, that looks kind of interesting, I might not like doing it, but it sort of inspires you to work out. And they've got trainers there. I cannot remember the name of the fellow who we met a few times when we were there, but he's really good at giving instruction and stuff like that and coaching you as you go. So you can book personal trainer sessions, but they've got lots of classes going on, from yoga to spin, as well as like a complete high intensity gym area. And then of course, all the stuff that's going on outside. They do have a paddleboard yoga, which they do in the main pool. And it's not something that you'll never see me doing this, but it's certainly something that's fun to watch. So that's Hyatt Zilara Cap Cana. And again, like I said, if you're just joining us now, thanks for joining. We're talking about the number one reasons to book these resorts and stuff that you might not know that's a little bit different that they offer at the Hyatt than they do at other properties. And I will say that, of course, RAS, if you're watching, I know you like the beach waiter service, as well as a swim up bar, as well as no reservations required for a la carte dining. A la carte dining is included, no extra charge. Top shelf alcohol. I think I've got you covered on that. I think that's everything that you specifically like. And obviously the Hyatt, no matter which property you go to, these things are all included. So you're definitely on a higher level of standard. Moving on to the next one, Hyatt Ziva Cancun. This was my favorite for a very long time until Hyatt Zilara came along and kicked its butt. But the water in Cancun is just so spectacular, that lovely teal blue and so clear. And of course, if you are a turquoise tower guest, which is the adults only tower, it's the new build, if you're staying in there, you have access to the turquoise tower pool, and that's on the second level. Now, if you haven't been to this resort, but maybe you were years ago when it was Dreams, you'll remember that you used to drive into the lower section and then you could go up into the rest of the area. What they've done with the Hyatt Ziva Cancun is they've built the driveway up. So you basically enter on the second floor, and then the turquoise tower pool is basically on the third floor. It's an infinity pool and spectacular views of the pool down below, as well as the beach. And you can see the people out there paddleboarding in the water. And there's hammocks above the water too. Like, it really doesn't get much better than that. It has great walkability as well. So very close to the local shops. And there's actually a grocery store that's like, I don't know, half a block away, which is perfect for purchasing your takeaway items, like the stuff you want to bring home, like the lime peanuts, which you can't get anywhere here. And we're really getting low on our rations. So I need to get back to Mexico sometime soon. Coffee, Mexican chocolate, vanilla. Oh my goodness. I checked out the price of vanilla in Costco the other day and it was like $30 for a little bottle. And in Mexico, it's like $7. So you cannot go wrong with that. And we have a question here from Eric. The ballroom for wedding receptions. Have I had a chance to see these? The ballroom. No, you know what? They were still finishing it when I was there, which was about 1 million years ago before COVID. I haven't seen them. I've walked past them from the outside, and but we did have an event on the grassy area at Hyatt Ziva Zilara Cap Cana, which is the massive grass area by the spa, which is between the main building, and the water slide. And that was actually really good for outdoor events. I think you could have at least 100 to 150 people there. But the inside, as I say, no, sorry, I haven't seen those facilities. But I do have access to photos and videos of them. So I'll make a note of that and we'll do a video. So wedding receptions, banquet hall. All right, so stay tuned for that. And if there's anything else that you guys want to see, let me know. I'm happy to do these videos. And I've actually got an interview scheduled on Monday with my guy Freddie, my sales rep, and we're going to talk about one of their new sister properties, which is the new the Yucatan Resort, which is in Playa del Carmen. So it's their newest offering. It's not a new build; it is a takeover. It's unique though because it's right on Fifth Avenue. So stay tuned for a video on that. So Hyatt Ziva Cancun, yeah, the walkability, like I say, is great. The bus system there is amazing. It's actually comparable to any major city in North America. And so the unique things that they offer, which I really haven't seen anywhere else, just about anywhere else, is they've got a pub that's on site, and this is all included. Now, I have seen pubs at Sandals Resorts before, but they are just regular, it's just like another bar. Whereas this one, they're actually brewing their own beer. So as soon as you walk in, you see those mega kegs where they are brewing. There's 3 different types of beer. Usually one is a Hefeweizen, and then a couple of different kinds. And they also have like snacks and stuff like that, pub snacks. You can get spicy chicken wings and jalapeno poppers. Shocker, right? You're in Mexico. And that's all included. They also, for those who prefer something sweeter, have they have a candy bar. So this is located right beside the coffee shop where you can get regular coffee or special coffees. And the candy bar has, I don't know, most people don't make it out of there without hitting 10,000 calories because they've got ice cream, cake, brownies, muffins, chocolates, like bonbon type things, as well as candies, and just everything you can imagine. So it's great to walk by there. I don't see many adults who make it past that corner of the resort without stopping for a little snack of something. Okay, Daniel is saying he was going to get me to book Sanctuary. but the reviews drew him to Hyatt Zilara. Yeah, you know what? I've stayed at all 3 properties in Cap Cana, the Secrets, the Hyatt Zilara Cap Cana, and Sanctuary. I thought Sanctuary was absolutely beautiful, like gorgeous, and lots of pool areas. So, you know, the frustration when a resort is at full capacity and you can never find a spot by the pool. Well, that never happens here because there are so many. You just have to shuffle around, maybe go to the castle section, maybe you go to the upper section by the main lobby, but there's always a place to go by the pool. I did find the food was better at Hyatt. And service is a changeable thing, but both of the times that we were at the Hyatt Zilara Cap Cana, the service was wow, you know. So if I had a choice, I would go back to the Hyatt over Sanctuary. But when you were there, you know, have a little wander past and see what you think. And Daniel is also saying, what's your opinion on sandals? They're nice resorts. They're always on sale. They're a lot more expensive. And I think that based on what you get, if you take the lead-in or the most basic room that you can get at Sandals versus what you're going to get, the inclusions that you're going to get at a Hyatt resort, I think you're going to find that you have more inclusions at a Hyatt Ziva or Zilara resort, all-inclusive resort. You know, certainly once you get into the butler suites and the, you know, your own plunge pool and the private villas and all this kind of stuff, yes, Sandal certainly does take it a step above, or the overwater bungalows even. But, you know, I guess it depends on what your budget is and what you're looking for. I still stand by it. I've stayed at 4 or 5 different Sandals, and I still say my favorite resort chain is the Hyatt. So I think that answers the question there. Hyatt Ziva Cancun, also, I want to say, I don't drink coffee, but the Cafe de Olla, the Mexican coffee, oh my God, it is so good at the Ziva Cancun. I've tried it at the Hyatt Ziva Puerto Vallarta, and at Hyatt Ziva La Cabos, and it's, I don't know if it's a geographical thing, that it has a slightly different mix, but in Cancun, I thought it was fantastic. I guess it's sweet. You know, if you're a regular coffee drinker, probably you're not looking for something that tastes a bit like it's like half sugar and half coffee, but I quite liked it. At the Hyatt Ziva Cancun, they also have lots of food carts, which I don't know why, but I just like food carts. It's fun. They've got one that does like burgers and hot dogs, and they used to have a bucket where you could grab a pop or a beer or soda. But with, you know, COVID times, I think it's probably more served to you instead. And then on the other side of the resort, on the main, that big, large Cancun beach area, on that side by the pool, they've got a sandwich shop, and they do a Cubana sandwich and, you know, a bunch of other really great treats. So yeah, food there is really good. I've also seen them come out just outside of the buffet with a, you know, like a platter size dish full of fresh baked cinnamon buns. Those do not last very long, but they're like absolutely delicious. So definitely something to check out. Now, I've got to say, Hyatt Zilara Rose Hall, and this is kind of like, I'll put these as my top 3, and then everything else is pretty much, I gotta say it's tied, because everything else is equal quality, but each still has its own unique features. So Hyatt Zilara Rose Hall, and of course this is another co-located resort. So, you know, global adventurer, yeah, to your question, yeah, I prefer to stay at adult-only resorts as well. And this gives you the option. I feel that the offerings on the Zilara side are slightly different and slightly elevated. For example, and I don't know if this is standard or not, and this was many years ago that I was at the Hyatt Zilara Rose Hall, but it looked like on the Zilara side, you got fresh hamburgers, so fresh made beef patties, whereas they did look like they were frozen patties on the Ziva side. And if you're laying by the pool and your waiter comes by to offer you a red stripe beer or some other fabulous concoction, they have in those copper mugs, Moscow mules. You can get basically ginger beer. You can get that at the Hyatt Zilara Rose Hall as well. But on the Zilara side, you can also request Jamaican patties, and these are made fresh on site, and they're absolutely delicious. It's basically like an empanada, if you don't know what a patty is. Basically a dough, a meat-filled pastry, and savory, and really love. My mouth is watering right now just thinking about it. I would call this resort foodie heaven. If you're a foodie and you're looking for some different food offerings, I would say this is another really great option for you. I mentioned the Jamaican patties. They also have a jerk hut right on the beach. So, come lunchtime, you can smell that jerk flavor of the barbecue, just wafting down the beach. It's pretty tough to resist. So basically spicy beef, spicy chicken, spicy pork. And they also do vegetarian options. So they can just do spicy vegetables, grilled vegetables, if you like, along with rice and, the other usual stuff. They have one restaurant that is more Caribbean. So you're going to see like roti on the menu. And what was really cool is it's an open air restaurant. And right beside it, they had a steel drum band playing. So that was really cool because if you're listening to a steel drum band, you feel like you're in the Caribbean, right? It's absolutely fantastic. One of the restaurants also has lobster mac and cheese, and that is not to be missed. As well, I forgot to write down they have one of those placard board signs that says, fresh croissants each morning from, I think it was like 7 till 9 or something. So this is where they have the brick oven pizza, which is really great pizza, by the way. And you can also get Jamaican jerk chicken pizza. But in the mornings, they use that same turn the oven, get the oven started with the wood fire and everything. And this is where they make fresh croissants. So they're fresh made croissants. You can get regular with cheese or with ham and cheese. And they basically roast them up or bake them right in the pizza oven right there. So yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. And all the other restaurants, they've got one that's a Brazilian type thing, like they come around with meat on a skewer, and if you want some or not, as well as the usual Italian. Every resort's got an Italian restaurant. The beach there is more protected. So if you've ever looked at somebody doing stand-up paddleboarding and thought enviously that looked like something fun to try, but not going to happen, here you can, because there's a rock outcropping, and it just makes it quite protected. So really great for doing water sports like that or snorkeling. I will say too that this resort has a lot of great venues for weddings. On the Ziva side, they have this like a manor house. They mentioned an old Caribbean manor house with a massive front lawn, and also a massive terrace deck. So that's a really great spot for outdoor events. And then they've got a couple of gazebos that are right on the water. So again, you can have your wedding over the water or at the water, but in a somewhat private situation with the gazebo. So that's Hyatt Zilara Rose Hall. So now we've got Hyatt Ziva Puerto Vallarta. With any resort in Puerto Vallarta, the sunsets are unparalleled. Comparable to sunsets that you'll see in Hawaii. Where the sun is setting just directly over the water, so you've got that fantastic color right until it sets, and even after a little bit, where the sun is below the horizon but is still lighting up the sky. So that's always really nice. And with the Hyatt Ziva Puerto Vallarta, it's built into the hillside. You're about 10 minutes, maybe 8 minutes taxi ride from downtown, Old Town, Puerto Vallarta. So really close to that, not walkable. You could take a local bus. Taxis maybe $6. Uber's probably less than that. So, it's reasonably accessible, but because it's built into the hillside, it's just so beautiful. There's lots of flora and fauna, lots of colorful flowers all over the place. And the way the resort is situated, all the rooms basically face the ocean. So unless you're on the ground floor of the main tower, so that would be a non-club room, unless you're on the ground floor there, you're going to have a view of the ocean, other than possibly some obstruction from the palm trees. In the main tower, the lead-in room, when I say lead-in, that means most basic room, is just the garden view room. And there's, I want to say 6 of them. I didn't bring my handy book with me. But those are walkout rooms. So they don't have a balcony or anything. You open up your sliding door and you immediately have access to that. There's a small private pool. It's not private, it's just in a more private area. You can sort of see the ocean, but you've got a fair amount of foliage and trees between you and the ocean. But if you're the kind of person who wants, like if you're a smoker, you need to be able to get out of your room and be able to go out and have a smoke. That's probably the best option for you. These are the least expensive rooms. And if you've got kids, I mean, it's a tricky one, because for kids, you want to be able to put them down for a nap, and still be able to visit with people. So this is ideal for that. Again, this is the garden view room in the non-club room section of the Hyatt Ziva Puerto Vallarta. So you can put the kids down for a nap. You can be hanging out with your friends by the pool. There is drink service to the pool, so you can still enjoy that. On the flip side, though, you're in a room that has direct access to the pool. There's no fence around the pool. So it depends how comfortable you are with that, and probably the age of the kids as well. Because of the layout, they also have a particularly private swim up rooms, which is, it's like you walk in around the resort and the swim up rooms are, to the left of you, for example. Well, you might have some foliage in the way, which means to say that when you're in the pool, you've got a view of nothing. But as you're walking on the pathway, you can basically look and you can see the people swimming in the pool, and you can see into the room. And so unless they have the curtains shut the whole time, you can see everything. And I have witnessed some unfortunate events where people come out of the bathroom, the lights are on, it's getting to be evening time, and someone else is in the room and they forgot to, or they didn't close the curtains. So with the lights on, of course, you can see everything. It's completely illuminated. So not a lot of privacy there. But with these swim up rooms in the main tower, they are elevated. It's built into the hillside. So on the back of the resort, it's ground level. But when you come out to the front of the resort, obviously it's sloping down. So the beach is down. So the beach is down here, but this is where the swim up rooms are. So there's about a 10, 12-foot drop, which means to say that you've got complete privacy. I mean, yes, other people in the swim up rooms, they can swim past you, and they'll be able to possibly see into your rooms. But for the most part, people cannot. So that's particularly more private. And before you say, well, then that means you're not going to get drink service to the pool. Yes, you can. There is a bar that's immediately down below. And then as you walk up to the edge of where the swim up rooms start or finish, depending on how you look at it, there's a walkway, and that accesses the hallway to get into that main building. And so where those stairs are, the waiter can actually hand you your drinks there. So no worries about getting drinks in those basic swim up rooms. Now, if you're in the club tower, slightly different situation. These are new. They built the tower and then they added the swim up rooms about a couple of years afterwards. So it's kind of unique. Again, they're a little bit higher up. So again, very private. And in the club tower, the difference is that you have a doorbell on your balcony. So if you think, I fancy a drink. Well, look, the bar is 20 feet away from where your rooms are, and this is the bar that's for that section of the beach, as well as anybody in the swim up rooms. So yeah, you can wave the guy down, but if not, just hit your little doorbell, and that'll summon someone up to you to get you some drinks while you're in your own private swim up pool area. So that's kind of cool. Now, because of the drop off, there is an age restriction in both the basic and the club rooms that I think you have to be 12 years or older. So children below a certain age aren't allowed to be booked into those rooms for obvious safety reasons, just because it's an infinity pool and there ain't nothing down below except a big fall. From these rooms, you can see it's very common to see dolphins in the water. And during whale season, we've seen a lot of whales in the ocean, either from our room or from, just the regular restaurant areas. So that is pretty cool. And the water here is really clear. In other parts of Puerto Vallarta, I found the water to be less clear, and it's West Coast. So, it's not going to be like what you see in Cancun, that crystal clear blue water. But from the spa, which is on the fourth floor of the main building, anybody can go up there. You can look down and you can actually see, does this make sense? You can see through the water. So if there's fish in the waves as the waves are rolling in, you can see them. That's pretty cool. I don't know if it's the currents the way they are, but crystal clear water here at the Hyatt Ziva Puerto Vallarta. So that's a really cool thing. The food here is also really good and really unique. The Asian restaurant is a fusion of a bunch of different countries. And in the Mexican restaurant, the chef was telling us that the restaurants are from his grandma or his great grandma. And she shared them with him, sort of not quite on penalty of death if he shared the recipes, but he's not allowed to disclose the recipe for the food. So it's really authentic, really delicious, and you can just taste that it's made with love. I don't know, it tastes good. That's the bottom line. It tastes good. And then if you're, look, we all love a little pizza and indulgent food when we're on vacation. The Italian restaurant is great for that. A lovely thin crust pizza. The margarita pizza is not listed on the menu, but we ordered it all the time. We did find it was a little bit much though, and because they have all these pop-up food stations that are happening. They come out of the kitchen and all of a sudden they've got like the spice. I don't know if any of you can remember the red spice that they use in Mexico, but they cover like slices of mango. So you get like a skewer of mango or pineapple fresh, and they put the sauce on it, the spice on it. And it's almost like a paprika kind of thing. So, you've just eaten this big pizza and then they walk around with this stuff and you think, oh, I'd love to try it. But I'm like, what are you going to do? Roll me out of here? Like I'm stuffed. So a little tip for you on that one is at the Italian restaurant, if you want something a little smaller, order the gluten-free pizza crust. And I said gluten-free. Why would you order that if you don't have an allergy to gluten? Trust me, it tastes really good. And it's a little bit smaller than the regular sized pizza. So that way, if you don't have somebody to share with, then you can have a smaller pizza and then a couple hours later, you can have something else. Why not? Just enjoy all the food. Now, moving over to Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos. Now, I actually just booked my next trip for this. It's not until October. We'll see if it happens. The situation is very different here in Canada than it is for all of you who are watching from the US. Or even from the UK, where your vaccination rollout is significantly faster. So for us right now, we don't have any flights to any sun destinations. I don't know when that's going to change. I'm hopeful, though, given 5-6 more months, that things will slowly get back to normal. So as I say, I've booked for Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos. If you are looking for a deal, they have amazing rates right now for October. So definitely check that out. Rates like just over $300 per room per night based on double occupancy. So you really can't go wrong with that. And that's obviously US pricing, prices subject to change, blah, blah, blah. You know the deal. But really good rates right now. Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos, it's really close for me to get to. And RAS, if you're watching, I think you're in Seattle. So, another short flight for you. And then the great thing is you're 15 minutes from the airport once you land. So, you can stop at the OXXO as you leave the airport and you can grab some beers for the ride. But how many beers are you going to drink in 12 or 15-minute taxi ride or a car ride, right? So that's really nice that you can be that quickly at the resort and then check in, unpack, get your room, and then hit the pool. It's fantastic. This resort, and I should say that the Hyatt Ziva Puerto Vallarta does have a pool that's heated as well. That's something unique for the West Coast. It's a little bit chillier in the winter. And then in the Los Cabos side, they also have the main large pool is heated. The swim pool, sorry, the infinity pool is the one that is not heated, unfortunately. TH just tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we covered off Zilara right at the beginning. And for those of you who are joining in late, thank you, first of all, for joining in. And if you have any questions or if there's any other videos that you want to see, just comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. And also, if I haven't already asked this, let me know where you're watching from. I'm very curious about that. And I'm going to put some timestamps in the video description. So if you want to go back and look, I've gone through Hyatt Ziva Zilara Cap Cana, Hyatt Ziva Cancun, Hyatt Ziva Zilara Rose Hall, Hyatt Ziva Puerto Vallarta. We're just doing Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos, and then next, of course, is Hyatt Zilara Cancun. And I'll put the timestamps in. So with that, if you click on it, it'll take you straight to that section, so you can hear my thoughts and my insider tips on those properties. Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos. So I said the main pool is heated. This is the only one that's also got an assisted lift or lift to drop you into the pool if you're physically challenged. So that's kind of a unique feature. They have the two main pools in the family side of the resort. This is a Ziva property, so it is family friendly. However, they do have an adult only section, and that's off to the side of, it's a U-shaped resort. So on the outside of the one side, they do have the adult only area. And this is, it's a lovely little pool area. They've got lots of loungers. They've got lots of sort of bally bed type things. They've even got loungers and chairs in the pool in a more shallow section with a latticed roof. So you can sort of avoid the sun, because in Cabo, it can get chilly in the winter, but in the summer, holy Dinah, it gets hot. So you really do need to escape the sun. Now, on the side, obviously, there is also a bar. And they also have a sort of like a mini snack area. And this is where you'll find Maria's Tacos. She's like famous across the internet, especially across TripAdvisor. And it's almost a Euro or donair style, where they have hunks of meat on a stick, roasting, like, it rotates in front of a burner. And then they just slice off bits of beef and make them into beef tacos. And they are so delicious, truly, truly. And it's unfortunate because it's being cooked really close to the bar and the pool area. So it's pretty much impossible to resist. You can't smell that and not just like, well, I'll just have one, delicious. And on the main side, I was actually so surprised. I had the margarita pizza one time. Kind of have a theme on this, right? You can tell I love cheese. I love pizza, cheeseburgers. But I do love tacos as well. The margarita pizza, which is the oceanfront Italian restaurant, fabulous view. It was so fresh that I actually pulled the waiter over and I asked if they were making the cheese on site. It was so fresh. I found out that they weren't making it on site, but they were buying it fresh from a local farm. So that just shows you the kind of caliber of food that you can expect, or the quality of ingredients that you can expect at this at any of these properties, really. They have a taco bar, which has picnic tables outside. This is on the family side as well. And you can also dine in, and it's an open kitchen concept. So you can see everything that they're making. You can see how spotlessly clean the kitchen is. Robert Irvine would be impressed. And they've got a bunch of different types of tacos that you can order, everything from regular fish tacos to shrimp tacos. I believe they had like octopus tacos, and obviously burgers as well, if that's what you want to go for. But some really unique offerings at the French restaurant, the French onion soup. I mean, you go to Mexico and have French onion soup? Yeah, you are, because it's that good. So there's lots of really great food options there. I will say that I really like the club upgrade option at Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos. They have a small selection of food for breakfast. And you guys all know if you upgrade to club, you have access to we have a separate private check-in. You have access to a club lounge where they have premium drinks, premium alcohol, as well as premium different beers. So, at the regular bars, you might have 2 different beers on offer, whereas you go into the club lounge and you're probably going to find 6, maybe 7 different types of beer. As I said, they have the snacks and stuff like that. And, not so much during the day, but at sunset, when everybody's kind of heading in for, to get, shower and get ready to start cocktailing and dinner and all that kind of good stuff. They have a lounge, they have a terrace outside, and you're on the 6th floor, something like that. So you're up quite high, and it's just got a lovely sweeping view of the resort. And with the sun setting behind you, it's casting that lovely golden hue on the pool area below, and it's really quite beautiful and just very relaxing. And a great place to go and have a glass of wine or a cocktail before you go and get ready for dinner, or after you've gotten ready and before you go for dinner. So that's Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos. Hyatt Zilara Cancun. So again, adult-only property, and this is located. Well, the Cancun Peninsula. It's sort of a 7, so it kind of comes down like that. Hyatt Ziva Cancun is at the top of that 7, and then from Hyatt Ziva Cancun to the bottom, where the Club Med and Club Med and the Sun Palace are located at the bottom of the Cancun Peninsula, you'll find about halfway through is the Hyatt Zilara Cancun. And hey, Arias, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. Booked for, the first 2 weeks of December. Awesome. Well, I hope you got good rates. I was actually just saying, I actually booked for October, and the rates are wicked cheap. Like I saw that they were, I want to say $324 US per room per night. So if you want to squeeze in a second vacation, check that out. Again, disclosure, rates subject to change, blah, blah, blah. But definitely check it out. And thanks for joining today. So Hyatt Zilara Cancun, like I said, transportation, super easy in Cancun because you can hop on a bus. You can pay $1 for the bus, but it's actually less if you pay in pesos. If you pay in dollars, they're not going to give you, well, they might give you change. We found that we would pay $1, and it was about 3 days later that we realized that it was we were kind of paying 3 rides for the price of 2. Didn't need to, so whatever. I mean, if it's like 25 cents different, whatever, but who cares? But easy to get around nonetheless. And there's a bunch of different malls in Cancun. So if it starts to rain, or you just have had too much sun, you've overdone it, or maybe you overdid it and need to avoid the sun a little bit that day, the malls are a great place to go and walk around. There's some discount souvenir shops. So if you need to get some t-shirts or keychains or magnets, you got to get something for the people at home. There's some great options for that, and they're very reasonably priced. So that's definitely an easy option. And there's also lots of great bars in the area. Plaza La Isla is again sort of about halfway between the Hyatt Zilara and the Hyatt Ziva Cancun. It's an outdoor shopping mall. They've got like stuff that you'd expect, as well as like Hooters and McDonald's, Starbucks. But they also have a lot of sort of waterfront restaurants because it's on the lagoon side. So, you know, the speedboat that drives around the lagoon, it like rips around, and they come screaming in, and then they stop and they do this turn, and the water goes spraying everywhere. Now, they don't come in close enough that it's going to affect anyone who's in that shopping mall area, because there's restaurants right along the edge of the water there. But certainly you can watch the fun and watch the people on this boat just getting absolutely doused with water. So that's kind of fun. And they do a lot of the, I don't know what it's called, but you know, where it's like you put the jets underneath your feet and it's pushing you up. So you're attached to a hose and you're sort of shooting into the sky with the I'm not describing this very well. I don't know if anyone knows what it's called. Help me out if you do. But basically it's like it's shooting you out of the water. And so you can watch all of that. And there's some great places to get mango margaritas and hang out. So, you know, if you're staying at the Hyatt Zilara Cancun or the Hyatt Ziva and you just want to get out, you know, there are a few really great bars in the area. And like I say, an easy bus ride, easy taxi, although the drive is kind of tricky because it's two one-way roads, right? So depending on where you're staying, you want to sort of think about that. If it's just going to be easier to hop in a taxi and know that they're going to have to do a little widge around route. And of course, Uber is another option and save you a bundle compared to taking a taxi. The Hyatt Zilara Cancun is, again, it's like the Hyatt Ziva Puerto Vallarta. All the rooms are basically facing the ocean this way. So almost all of them have an amazing ocean view. These rooms all have proper balconies. And I should have said that Hyatt Ziva Puerto Vallarta, in the main rooms, the basic rooms, until you get to a room category that says balcony, if you don't book one that says balcony, it is a princess balcony or a French balcony. So it's one of those ones where it's got a floor to ceiling door, so you can open that up, but you're not able to step out on the balcony. And that's not a huge deal, although I like to be able to sit on the balcony and enjoy the fresh air without getting the humidity in the room. And that's certainly something that's going to happen if you have a princess balcony. Also, you want to be able to dry your bathing suit out somewhere. So if you can chuck it on a chair out in the sun, then yeah, definitely. Yeah, you know I do. You know I do. I mean, I could sit here and rag on a bunch of different resorts that I've been to that were like fundamentally disappointing. But, you know, I think, well, those of us who know that back in the day when this resort, when the Hyatt Zilara Cap Cana first opened, there was one person who wrote a review and she was like, oh, I found these nails on the beach. And I don't know, they looked like from back in the day when they had pirates. I don't think they were from construction. We still kind of joke about that if we're doing any home repair work around the house. And we say, oh yeah, there's some nails that were like from 30 years ago when our house was built. They still don't look like the nails that she found, but anyways, it's her opinion. And if she had a bad experience, she had a bad experience. And like I said, you know, I could complain about other resorts that I've stayed at, but what's the point? Because you know, sometimes it's just you get in your head. And I mean, tell me if this is you, but if I arrive at a resort and it's dark out by the time I get there because flight's delayed or whatever, I get into this funk. I don't know what it is, but it's like I hate the resort until the next day when the sun comes out. And I think it's just that you feel like you can't get a sense of it or something. I don't know, but I've experienced it. I've booked clients, and if they've arrived late, same thing. They're like, I hate the resort. I don't like this. Why did you book us here? And the next day they're like, oh my God, this is the best resort ever. So anyways, that's just my thoughts. Yes, I love Hyatt resorts. Definitely. In Hyatt Zilara Cancun, so like I said, most of the rooms have fantastic ocean views. The swim ups, again, are on a little bit higher up. So again, a little bit more privacy, although they're not quite as high as the one in Hyatt Ziva, the swim ups at Hyatt Ziva Puerto Vallarta. Uh, Great dining options and a lot of outdoor open air dining as well, which is really nice. So you can enjoy that fabulous view. Then, of course, the resort is at street level and the beach is down lower. So the infinity pools, you can see the beach and the ocean behind it, but you're private in the pool. And of course, if you go down to the beach, you want to be on that, lovely sand, a white sand. There is a bar down there. And of course, RAS, they have drink service, all that kind of good stuff, as well as swim up bar. I know that's an important one for you. And the gym. I know a lot of you are going to say, I'm going on vacation, I'm not going to the gym. But this one has a really cool rooftop lap pool. And I think even if you're going and you don't want to do a workout, it's on the lagoon side. So at sunset, how cool would that be to sit up there in the pool, looking over the lagoon and watching the sunset, So just because it's a gym doesn't mean that you have to be being fitnessy to use it. And what else did I say? Oh, the entertainment is really good at the Hyatt Zilara Cancun. They have a massive entryway. It's very grand. And so they do a lot of Cirque du Soleil type stuff. It's probably 100-foot ceiling, maybe more. And so, yeah, they do a lot of stuff with the sheets, where they're twirling and swinging and stuff like that. And the acoustics in there are also really good. So if it's a pianist or a saxophone, then, some really enjoyable entertainment that way. They've got a great sports bar. I remember watching Mexico versus, I want to say, USA in the World Cup about 8 years ago. Mexico didn't win, but most of this management staff were in there and the room was packed. It was a lot of fun watching the game. And the sports bar, of course, is also sort of their 24-hour lounge. So snacks and drinks and stuff like that are great to access there. So I think that's just about everything that I wanted to share. I did make notes. If you have any questions about any of these properties, let me know. I've been to them all. I've been to some of them lots of times. And really, I do really enjoy them. I'm also going to be doing a video tomorrow on just updates because so much is changing as we get closer to full vaccinations and stuff like that. And whatever your opinion is on that, I think a lot of stuff's going to change once the majority of people get vaccinated. That may not be you, but we're still seeing a lot of changes because of that. So check in tomorrow for an update on all that's happening with cruises and on other resorts that are opening and other resort changes. So it's pretty exciting time right now. And yeah, it's just nice for things to feel like they're finally getting back to normal. It's been a tough year and I'm ready for a vacation. So hopefully I'll see some of you at a resort someday soon. Like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. And thanks for tuning in. Oh, hold on. All right. Thanks for tuning in, RAS, and thanks for tuning in, everybody else. Really appreciate you spending a bit of time with me today. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.